in a classic. We won, and no one's happy about it. Hey, oh, wait, hold on. Monday morning, John needs to shut up. There's a little. I was about to release a podcast this morning, Tuesday morning, which is when I'm recording this now. And I don't know. I'm just gonna do the show today on my bed because I just think that's what you and I need, along with this is a new delicious treat that I'm very much addicted to now. A cold foam coffee. Am I late to the party on that? We're gonna have a little peppermint mocha. I'm literally heading towards my bed right now. We're just gonna have a nice, calm conversation. Oh my God, you and I, with a cup of coffee, because I'm not even mad. The Eagles did win, right? Okay. So the Eagles are 11-2. Saquon Barkley still very much an MVP candidate. Broke LaShawn McCoy's single-season rushing record, and no one remembers that because A.J. Brown simply said, we need to fix the passing game. And if we're doing that on like a wide receiver diva chart, it was like not even an outburst. It was maybe, oh, well, that's interesting. It was one of those, right? And then maybe your friends, maybe someone in the Discord, maybe someone in the group chat is just yelling and screaming about how fucking bad Jalen Hurts is and what a terrible piece of shit that his arm is, and he can't throw a football, and, he's a joke, and he's going to hold everybody back from winning a Super Bowl. And then two people are putting those two things together. So it's already pretty semi-volatile environment. I'm not going to say that everybody's feeling pissed off or down or like, what the fuck is this guy doing here? That's pretty much every Eagles game. So that's to be done. And yes, Jalen Hurts had a terrible game, and we'll get to that in a little bit here. But now hold on. I just want to show you how good this cold foam is. It's like a fucking cold milkshake with hot coffee. It's, where have I been? So we're all sitting here yelling about Jalen Hurts isn't that good of a quarterback. And honestly, that's what I was going to start chatting about Monday. Like why we're back to that after one game. Then Brandon Graham goes on WIP's player show, which is very common for him down at Chicken Pete's on Monday, especially after a victory. And yes, he's out for the year. So like, what a perfect voice for the team, talking about adversity or normal PR stuff comes out about that show, because that is exactly, if you're unfamiliar with the player show on WIP, no one gets anything from that show. Rarely, I should say. Sometimes there's some really jaw-dropping breaking news. And Brandon Graham is going on there and in an honest moment was trying to basically say he thought AJ was really mad at Hurts and didn't go and address it in the locker room based on the video. And it didn't sound like he talked to anybody, And people are going left and right about what he actually meant, and now that he's kind of clarified statements through basically everybody. I mean, this dude was clarified 70 times, from John Clark to Tim McManus to going on WIP's morning show today to just everything. It has been a wild fucking 48 hours, guys. And like, the Steelers are in 5 days, no big deal. Can basically win the NFC East on Sunday. Oopsie daisy. No one's like, we're bare. Our heads are nowhere close to there. And now, because of what Brandon Graham said, and I will say how it was edited without context, because it really did need it. It's a very, very long quote. But the basis of what Brandon Graham is going off of, and just a quick reminder, he thinks AJ's not addressing QB1, like he thinks that's weird and doing it through the media. Well, he himself is complaining through the media. And my initial reaction, and I was a part of I took the bait, so I'm not saying I'm any different from you. I took the bait right away. And it sounded as if Brandon Graham did say Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown were friends, and it's hard, like, I interpreted it as like, wait, did he just say that AJ and Jalen aren't used to, like, had a personal rift and they need to realize that this is all about business and we need to do, like, I don't know. That narrative just ran and played telephone for a good couple of hours, and it did damage. It absolutely did damage. So I don't know how everyone feels on how it was presented versus what Brandon said, but like total 100%. Like, Brandon, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? That is just a mistake from Brandon Graham, because it doesn't sound like that there's any huge problems, and everybody on Twitter and most of the Discord and probably even you were looking at that and be like, this doesn't make sense. You saw AJ and Jalen doing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, DJ Jazzy Jeff handshake. AJ Brown is pissed off that there's only 21 balls being thrown 3 or 4 games after he suffered an injury, got back, and it's just like, hey, man, I'm ready to fucking go here. Like, let's go. And I get AJ's frustration completely, and I think if you're coming away from this, like, look at what the problems you created. That man just answered a question. That's all he did, and he wasn't incorrect. It was a one-word response. I'm frustrated, and you felt that just by the huddle around his locker room. The passing game needs to improve. We know that, and we're saying the same thing. All these people are saying the same thing. Why is A.J. Brown having all this cardio work, especially against the Panthers? Ay. And now, honestly, I'll just get this out of the way, and then I do want to get into the Panthers game a little bit. A.J.'s putting up 2 or 3 touchdowns against the Steelers. You can count on that. Jalen Carter's going to sack Russell Wilson so many times. I am so glad this happened. If you want my honest take, this is perfect, man. This is like, go hate this part. Go use this as a little bit of a catalyst, you know? Oh, you think I can't throw? Okay. Oh, you think I'm just being a diva? Okay. Why don't you turn on the tape? I don't call myself always open for nothing. And A.J. Brown is correct. A.J. Brown's correct, because you and I now are going to have this discussion, and I'm fucking sick and tired. See, I'm already getting mad. I'm in the bed, and I'm already getting mad. So you know how mad I am right now. I am fucking tired of looking at Jalen Hurts having a bad game and no one admitted that he just had a bad game. Terrible game. Terrible. Based on the opponent, where it was, the missed opportunities, the things that he did to cost his team the game, and he almost did. And yes, they scored that touchdown at the end. There's still 44 seconds and 3 timeouts. Maybe they end up getting down there close enough where Jake Elliott apparently, clearly is injured in some form or fashion and like can kick, but can't kick 50 plus very accurately right now. And I know a lot of people are getting scared about that too. So yes, Jalen Hurts had a terrible game, and everybody keeps questioning a bunch of reasons why, and I'd like to try and answer those. One, Jalen Hurts is doing too much and overcorrecting to the point of playing too safe with the ball with obvious touchdowns where A.J. Brown is streaking wide open. Agreed on everything and every feeling that you have said about that for the last 2 days. It's not just a brand new way, or excuse me, it's not just a brand new offense for Jalen Hurts this year. It's a brand new way of playing quarterback, and he is doing everything that he can to learn this system completely. And it is impossible to learn Kellen Moore's system in 1 year based on where Jalen Hurts' development has been and what he has been taught thus far between Doug Peterson and Nick Sirianni. This man, again, has never, ever in his career taken snaps under center coming into the league, and up until this season alone, I'm going to keep saying it, has never done a 7-step drop back pass under center until this season. And the first time he did it, he nailed it. It's with Devontae and AJ being in the game, I believe. So Jalen Hurts is learning a lot this season, and he's also in charge of protections between the interior, because that is not Cam Jurgens' job as we know it right now. That might have changed, but at the beginning of the season, you and I both know that after Jason Kelce left, who was like the most important part of that type of recognition for everybody, including, Lane and Jordan, they had their own language at that point. Now you're dealing with that part. And I'm not putting everything on the interior offensive line when I say this, and I'm not putting it on Jalen when I say this there too, but people are going to fuck up there. And this year especially, you see a ton of people winning with inside pressure and trying to force Jalen to his right because, it's his catnip and his kryptonite. And sometimes he does it to his left, and he was doing that a lot this game. So there were missed opportunities from there. And listen, Mekhi Becton has been playing phenomenal. And this is just critique. This is not hate. I think he's doing a great job. Also included in this is him playing and moving to guard and adjusting to those responsibilities. And he's also in charge of snapping the ball and doing a bunch of different things that he has never done before. And it's not as if anyone's pass blocking is bad, because they're all usually winning. Like the pockets have been phenomenal. But sometimes, I think the three of those guys, between Dickerson, who's the most experienced, and then Juergens and Becton, there is a lot of confusion sometimes on who has what. And Jalen Hurts is going to call those protections wrong because he's also doing that for the first time in his career. And I'm not saying that these are excuses. These are things that typical, just, good throwing quarterbacks kind of do in this pro-style system. Jalen Hurts has never been through that. So, yes, the frustration between all that and not seeing obvious things from there will continue to fucking mount like that. The other thing I also believe just about this game alone, and I'm sure if you wanted to get into the nuances too, we can certainly do that, but I don't have too many outside of this. I think Les Bowen even brought up to the point mid-game, was like, does Jalen Hurts have a concussion? Like, what is happening here? In the back of my mind, I just keep thinking that you are going to play the Steelers in, 6 days, 7 days, whenever they were doing that. Do you really want to show them anything offensively at home against the Panthers? No. So I just, between all of those things and then just Jalen just having a bad game for whatever. I'm learning this new offense. I've got down pretty much. Here's the things I'm comfortable with. Protections are on me. And it all just showed up. Like, it boiled over. Jalen didn't handle it well at all in this game. Then when people kind of see this type of game, and I would definitely say, and you can remind me, I think this is absolutely his worst game of the season. Then we're starting to bring up passing yards, even though Saquon Barkley just in the same game broke LaShawn McCoy's single rushing record. And it's not like, I'm not saying that there's obvious signs that the passing game isn't there, but that also, like in this game, it's all on Jalen. 1,000%. You can tell. It's really hard to argue that it's not. In everything else that we've seen to this point, it's hard to tell who or what is going on, right? You've heard me. I predominantly have been blaming Nick, and for the most part, probably unfair just because of how things have shaken out. It's hard to argue that, right? But his passing concepts have stunk since the beginning of time and been trying to fix them forever. And the only way it really worked, he was the most confident, the ball was getting out the quickest, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So no one's been able to kind of really replicate those passing concepts. The running concepts, it's Jeff Stoutland, baby. Those don't go anywhere. And now that Saquon Barkley is here, it makes those things infinitely easier and more home runnable. And and let's just be honest, it is probably rubbing AJ the wrong way a tad bit, right? Give me the ball. That's one thing I will take away from Brandon Graham. It is hard to have a relationship with your best friend and work together. Been through it. Or friends in general. Doesn't matter. It's fucking hard because everyone's trying to make everybody happy, and it leads to bad business decisions. It does. It does. So that's going through Jalen's head too, for sure. And it's going through AJ's head. Absolutely. And they're both saying, fuck it, shake hands, just go get a ring on my finger. Let's make this all worth it, which is basically what everybody's saying here. Let's make this all worth it. This was a terrible game. It's a fucking terrible time for everyone to take what AJ said and run with it, and then for BG to go on the flagship station of the Philadelphia Eagles, the place that is the safest place on earth to do PR. Oh, why am I laying on the bed? I shouldn't have to lay on the bed. I should be hooting and hollering. We should be dancing to BT Express. We should be enjoying this fucking cold cream, and that's all I want to do, okay? So for the rest of the week, I'm going to remain neutral right up until, Thursday, Friday. I think it's the type of week where we need to settle back in. Everyone just calm down and realize that Raiders games happen. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I want you today to go look at the Raiders-Eagles clinching home field advantage regular season game from 2017. The week escapes me. I think pretty sure it was 16. Pretty sure, because they played Dallas the next week and Sudfeld came out and then... And then there was a lot of bad takes, including mine. I didn't say Sudfeld should start, but I said that we have to think about it. Go back to all those discussions because it's very clearly that we're having the same discussion, except it's just with the starting quarterback this time. It's not like whether Nick Foles can handle this. It's, oh my God, we've got to run the ball so much, and you can't just run the ball and play good defense. It's the same conversation. And you know what's even creepier and weirder is that the Minnesota Vikings are having an amazing year, unexpectedly, with a quarterback that everyone left for dead. They're in the mix. They're literally in the mix. And if the Lions didn't play a primetime game on Thursday night where everybody was hyped about it, and it was a phenomenal game, offensively back and forth. Both defenses got their ass handed to them on certain times, made great plays in others, like great football, awesome. Coming off of that, the Lions have done something that they've never done before, ever. You've got Jordan Love, who everybody does love, and I'm even wrong about my predictions about him. Like, people love that dude. He is absolutely a great quarterback. So when all this shit is happening, we want to dump it right back on Jalen Hurts. You piece of shit. How come you're not like that? How come you're not like Jared Goff? How come you're not like pinpoint accurate with these things? And man, you have got to stop making this guy something that he's not. This guy is not a top 5 quarterback. He will look and feel and have those years like him, but on a consistent level, he's not going to do that. As a passer, he's not going to do that. He's not Lamar Jackson, so keep his name out your fucking mouth, because that dude is a special player. He's not going to be a Hall of Famer. And the context of where Jalen Hurts started from where he is now as a second-round draft pick that no one ever thought he could play quarterback in the first place. And a lot of people are still holding on to that. They can't believe that this dude is stuck around so long and already led a team to a Super Bowl. That is absolutely true. It is 100% true that this guy needs as much, I don't even want to say help, but yes, in the passing game, he needs guys that can snag balls to catch his go balls, and that has been the bread and butter of what led them to the Super Bowl in 22, and it feels as though both Nick and Jalen are trying to reach back and find that, and in some part, A.J. Brown too, because it's him, So they are trying to find that way together again, and that is incredibly hard because defenses have punched back so strong. And we are sitting here as Eagles fans, and hold on a second. Actually, I should say this. We already know this about Jalen Hurts. We have gotten everything that we have asked for in terms of making his ability even better. Use his legs now as a substitute with Saquon Barkley here, because that is what makes him look slow, because Saquon is so fucking fast. That's what it is. We're just, manage the game, however you want to interpret that. Jalen Hurts and Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni and whoever you want to throw in there has built an offense to be a complementary point guard for both Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, because Kellen is doing a lot of this stuff. Jalen is learning a lot of this stuff. You've got to run stuff that he's also comfortable with while he's learning this stuff. And they are 11-2 in doing it, man. Why don't we see it that way? Why don't we see it as the fucking pick that keeps on giving? I don't give a shit what ends up with Jalen Hurts' relationship and A.J. Brown's relationship. I don't give a flying fuck. You want to know why? Because Jalen Hurts was able to get A.J. Brown here. That never fucking comes out of your mouth. He's the reason why the Eagles drafted Devontae Smith, knowing all this stuff. They knew that they were going to go after him. They had to know, tampering or not. Howie's really good at information, and it's not for no reason. Okay? This just I can't believe we want to replace Jalen Hurts all the time, every time he has a bad game. And if you're doing that on a consistent basis, I need to know why. Who fucking cares that he's not even playing? If you want to say he's not playing as a top 10 quarterback, fine. They're still kicking everyone's ass. These last 9 games, unreal. And throw in a stinker. Yeah, fuck yeah. They keep winning, even with that stinker in mind, and they've already shown us that it's not a mirage when it comes to how special the offensive line Saquon Barkley is. Not a mirage. You've got Saquon Barkley yelling, let's go break Eric Dickerson's fucking record. What are you supposed to do? Fucking tell him no? Are you stupid? AJ, Jalen, Devontae, everyone else that wants a fucking ball. Sorry. That part's over. It's done. Save it for the fucking playoffs when no one's paying attention. And believe me, I still think that's kind of happening a little bit. And even if it's not happening directly, it's happening indirectly. Fucking run the ball to death and then make them commit. Make them fucking so goddamn scared of Saquon Barkley that they forget how good Jalen Hurts can throw that fucking ball and get AJ on one-on-ones. Get him in the goddamn slot. It's not that fucking hard. You want the first quarter
offense to be a little better? Run tempo the whole fucking quarter, because what's the difference? You'll get the ball back faster. If it's about possessions, get them fucking quicker. You idiots. If that's what it takes for Jalen Hurts to feel comfortable, because it's not thrown, it's not passing, it's not this, it's just time. Time. He needs to understand what's going on because he's trying to throw a perfect ball or protect it or whatever the fuck. The moment he stops thinking, the offense gets better. You see it when it happens. Takes like 2 or 3 possessions. Call it whatever you want to. Getting in rhythm, doing this and that. By the way, hilarious that McNabb chimed in and then T.O. chimed in on this. Just making this, again, this 48 hours is just a giant fucking shit burger. So, I'm here to tell you, go Birds. Let's get a little pep in our step this week. Can we? This football team is 11-2 and figuring it out in a good way. All right? They didn't just suddenly, the Panthers did not pull up the bed sheet or turn them into pumpkins or it was just a bad fucking game as they're preparing for the biggest game of the fucking season the next week. Lackadaisical? Yep. Were they drinking? Maybe. Was somebody at a strip club late too late? Probably. Throw it all in the fucking blender. Yes, that's what happened. Still won the fucking game. Go Birds. I'm out of here.